Well.
Yeah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good evening to everyone. Welcome to IUM TV Peeps Chat Show, the first episode for season 3. Happy Peeps, healthy chat. I am Arisha Zahi and I will be your host for tonight. For those currently watching our live, do not forget to give this video a big thumbs up and to also subscribe to our channel. And also we have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for you guys to follow. And do not forget to listen to our podcast on Spotify at IUM All right, so I know we are already in week 6 and you guys might have tests or quizzes tomorrow and have assignment to submit. But thank you so much for watching us tonight. So without further ado, let me introduce to you guys our amazing guest for tonight, Tuan Said Azmi. So Tuan Said, could you introduce yourself, Tuan Said?
Hello, everyone. My name is Said Azmi. I am a pharmacist by profession. I am 44 years old and I work in KL. My work mostly consists of safe spaces for children. And if you don't know, children means below 18 years old. Okay, and the topic today that we have is actually the word youth. So for youth, it's actually below 24 years old. But I will try my best. I am to talk about this topic based on the questions, and I think that this session will be more interesting if you ask hard-hitting questions that you are not familiarized with when it comes to youth pornography and internet. And we'll try our very best to fulfill all the answers. I guess that's pretty much it. We have 40 minutes, so the time is yours. Arisha, I'll give it back to
Okay,
you.
fine. Thank you. So, how many how many years or how long have you been involved in helping these youth, helping addictive youth to pornography? Like in
Um,
Malaysia right now, like we are in the fourth that search pornography in the world, so it's really worrisome, right?
well, pornography has been around for years, and probably with the revolution of digitalization, I'm sure that it's even bigger. However, to be totally honest, we don't really work on helping youth with pornography because a lot of people are in denial. They don't think that they have any addiction in watching pornography until it's a bit too late. And another thing with MCO and the increase of usage and reliability towards gadget, that has actually increased the usage of pornography until such statistics occurs. But I have been in child advocacy and protecting children for probably around 5 years. However, my work has always been about mannerism and unity, which has been spanned for nearly 10 years. Yeah.
Oh. So just now you mentioned about like people doesn't notice they were actually addicted to pornography. So before we go into very details, like would you explain to us what is pornography? So like maybe people out there will actually know, oh my god, I have addicted to pornography. So yeah, in what context we should think that this is pornography content?
Um, okay, I'm very bad with definition and Webster's dictionary. I wish I
Okay.
can just Google it right now, but no, I won't. So basically, what I want to say is pornography, it can be in any form or languages or any image that fulfill your sexual gratification. So if you watch pornography and actually you do feel aroused and it provides sexual gratification, so that can be in a form of pornography. So it can be in a form of um, live, it can be in a form of cartoon, it can be in a form of images, it can be in a form because it's called pornography, so there's the word graphy there. So basically, it has to do something with images. However, sexual gratification can also come from voices, can also comes from reading text, but that is not what they call graphy, so in Latin. So but in shorter version is anything that has got to do with sexual gratification and images that can deem to be inappropriate. I know that in the West they actually legalize all this, right? You can pay per view and all that, so it means that it's legalized, and it's also a very big industry, and it's a money making industry, and people think that it's private. The problem with this is when it's no longer private, meaning that you watch and then you become curious and then you try on to yourself and then you try on to others, consent or non-consent, and of course there's addiction to it. So that's the problem. So that is the main issue that we have right now.
All right. So, because it's like very like if you watch it, it's arousing. But why do you think most people got involved in this watching pornography, especially youth, like you know, teenagers?
Oh, well, it's not just teenagers. I'm sure
Mm.
that pornography addiction does happen even for adults. But for youth or even children, most of the answers is that they're just bored. So so that's why they were not, nobody wants to be caught into trouble, but when you just don't have anything else and you cannot even think of doing anything else, so pornography seems to be there, and they just browse it and then they get excited and then they cannot control it. So that is the problem after that.
So, we are talking about gender right now. So, which like female or male like, has the highest involvement in watching pornography, or just the same?
I wouldn't know the statistic unless people wants to say it, but in my line of work,
Mm.
I don't see gender as an issue, and because of that, I believe that um, it's not about same or not the same, but both gender have problems with pornography. You see, so it's not about the female is less or things like that. Maybe it's less because it's underreported. But in one way or another, I don't think that is a discriminative point. I'm sure there are pornography that entice the girls and the women, and I'm sure there are pornography that entice the men as well, and then there are pornography based on sexual orientation as well, so and then interests as well. So you can imagine people who likes to watch pornography based on necrophilics, people like to watch pornography based on um, dirty materials or biological waste or sex among animals. So basically, you see, and it's genderless. So I don't think so there's any of that. And I think that I understand that there might be a lot of study to see the focus on the community towards pornography, but it's a slippery slope because you actually have to be with them to watch the pornography to actually understand the psyche behind it. So it's not really a great deal or a great thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
So, because you always receive calls on Facebook, right? Right, Tuan, betul tak?
Yes,
Alright,
yes.
so
So
do
part
you
of
have
my work.
any? Yeah. So, do you have any experience that involving this pornography for the youth? Why
Yeah,
they
ada.
become obsessed? I do.
Well, they don't talk about the why. By the time they talk to me, it's because they wanted to know how to stop or how to control it. Because they went into deeps and they wanted to learn how. And it's important to get the right people to talk about it and to help them. For instance, if they have urges or they are the type who actually like to masturbate themselves, and then but they don't want to anymore because they believe religion say it's a sin and they don't want to, and then if they get into the wrong hands, meaning that the ones who are not expert in that. So they might just say that why don't you just watch less, like once a week, to just feel good about yourself and your urges. So if you do that, then the rest of it you'll be the same. But it's not true for people with or for people who have sexual tendencies towards things like that. So that would have been very, very much difficult. And you see they wanted to stop. So of course, there are so many methods for people who wants to stop. You can actually Google this. There's so many methods. That they might be scientific, there might be religious methods and all that. So but if you get to the wrong hands, then they might just lead you on into doing other things as well. So yes, we do receive a lot of calls talking about people wanting to stop. It depends on three things. It depends on the intensity, meaning that how deep is your pornography diary of some sort. And then frequency, how often you watch. And the third one is there's intensity, there's frequency, and and then duration. How long have you watched this? At what age have you started? You see, so all that needs to be put into place, and then the right therapist should know how. When people call to me about it, sometimes they're already scared, or they don't know where to go, or they don't know what kind of therapist. Is it costly?
Mhm.
Is it common? Is it how many times they have to go through a week? And it's a very, very serious issue, and we don't want people to just suddenly go into that to try out without knowing all the consequences. Yeah. So it's not something that I would say, if you can prevent watching it, please do.
Is it
So
okay?
yeah. But everybody, in one way or another, have their own fantasy to fulfill sexual gratification. That's why getting married is the best way, or abstinence is the best way, kan, according to a lot of people. So, but really, nobody's better than anyone else.
And
And
nobody
for
is
instance,
perfect.
nobody's perfect. So some people might have a shopaholic issue where they like to shop and spend a lot more money, and then they get into trouble, kan. It's just that it's not something about their private parts, or about their sexual fantasies, but it's still an addiction. So any form of addiction is not good as well. It can harm one person, or it can harm others. Get what I mean? So pornography is one of it. However, they do have pornography do have it does stuck in the brain, and that it can create curiosity, and it can actually demolish the family and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's create curiosity, especially to children if they like watch. Because before this, it was really it went viral about the YouTube video about Elsa and the Spider-Man thing. Do you
Oh
know that
God,
one?
no, I don't.
That one is like very it's very weird. The video is weird. From afar we might think that it's only about the very famous Disney character Elsa, Queen Elsa, and also Spider-Man the hero, but actually when we sit with the children it's actually very sexual. I mean, it's very weird in the sense like it's almost pornography, just like you said before. What do you think about it? And do you think about sex education should be implemented in the early age, at the early age?
Okay, so basically, I think with time, I understand your question is about sex education, and
Yes.
but then again, some people call it sexuality education. So basically, if we take that kind of approach, we will, in a nutshell, sexuality education in the end will make you learn, and you will end up making better options and choices, including pornography, whether to click or not to click. Okay, it sounds very easy, but sex education or sexual education, uh, it's a process. It's a long process, because you need to have reasons, you need to understand reasonings, and you cannot just teach in a subject or in a day or in an hour about what is that all about. So but with knowledge you can actually, I believe that it will be more informed, and once the person is more informed, it will make that person will make better choices,
Oh,
whether to watch or not to watch.
but what if
ah
it's the children, like the minor?
So that's the thing. So
Mm-hmm.
pornography was not to they shouldn't have access to children, kan? So children cannot have access to pornography. However, so bad people will try to find a way to go inside, and they actually manage to reach to children. So that's why parents play an important role to actually guard the children and to check and everything about what they are doing. So that's one thing. And then I also have to add here that um, in safeguarding children in pornography, in sex education, in sexual education as well, there's a lot of discussions for the children because they get curious. So you actually have to explain to them, you know? And then once they know that this is inappropriate, they will say no to it. There are a
Yes.
lot of children with good sexual education that was brought to them that is a success. Banyak. So sebenarnya it's proven that with more knowledge, they will know how to click better. Uh,
Mm-mm. And they will have a like a broader knowledge, like that, right, Twin?
mm, mm. It's not just broader knowledge, they know what is right and wrong. And
Mm-hmm.
then they're
Yes.
empowered by it. And they know what is appropriate and not appropriate.
So all right. So I think just now you say like the correct way for us to prevent or to prevent the addiction to pornography. I think I heard you say like Calvin, like marriage is one of it. Is it correct to insight? Do you think that will be very
Well,
helpful?
that's what I said, and that's what people will advise. You know, if you were to
Mm,
curb, you might as well get married. Okay, it's not right. It's not wrong at all, actually, because then you have your sexual gratification at the right place, right? But marriage is not a solution towards everything. You know, so basically, prevention is still the best policy for this, and then um, and not and basically I do understand that I wish to say that therapy is good and it works. However, it's not easy access for everyone to actually go into therapy to prevent themselves from getting involved in this, you know. And but I have to admit that getting married is one way to curb
one way to
pornography when you,
prevent.
yeah. But as we can see now, even people who are married and who don't talk about their sexuality properly as well, they will end up still watching pornography if they don't actually it's not handle, but they are not making that conversation enough to actually understand. And it's very difficult. I do understand. This is the problem with pornography. You watch pornography, let's say normal straight sex, and then suddenly you watch everything that you can Google. You watch nearly everything because that's what happened. You will dig and dig and dig until you finish, and then you suddenly realize saying that there's nothing interesting in sex anymore because it was supposed to be explored in a fitrah way with your partner. But then again, and then you watch pornography, and then you finish watching that, and then in the end, you suddenly saw something probably interesting, like peeing on your partner or some sort, so called golden shower, and you just click on it and you watch, and you get aroused or you get interested. And then can you imagine when you're with your partner but you don't know how to say it, you don't know how she will take it, and then but it's something that you want to try, you see, and becomes very much uncomfortable dah kan. And then because you cannot get it, because you're already addicted to it and you cannot get that, and then what would you do? You start watching all such sexual acts, pornography again, and they will go lead to something else and something else. It's a serious thing, but a lot of people, men and women, think that they can control. They kata, no, 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 I just watch it for fun, I wouldn't hurt anyone with it, blah 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 blah. But it's like a different type of drug, and you just, and it's just dangerous for, i would say I would say this. I know that because I handle cases, and when
Mm-hmm.
children talk about how they watch pornography and what type of pornography they watch, I don't intend to know what type, because it doesn't matter. Any form of pornography, it's wrong. So I don't need to know, oh, this is bad, or this is not so bad. So probably they say straight sex or gay sex. So basically, how I cannot say that gay sex is worse than the straight sex. I cannot. It's just pornography. It's the same,
It's
and
still a pornography, right,
it's
Twin?
still pornography, and it's inappropriate. Can
Mm.
it's still
Yes.
pornography and it's inappropriate. So because of that, I cannot. I cannot condone that, and I don't want to get knowledgeable about how many types of pornography out there. Do you think? I don't want to know, because it's the same. There's no one is better than the other. Is There's no one that is lighter and than others. If it
Mhm.
creates that kind of addiction to you, stay away, stay far away from it.
Right. So what are the other challenge that you face for youth addiction to like pornography?
um it takes a very long time, and they have to know that. And we have a case that she count days, how many days that she didn't click any pornography material, and it was hard for her, so we give the support, saying that I think she's already 38 days by today, so I think 38 or nearly 40 already. So 40 days she's being sober about it, and it's hard for her, even though people think just do other things. So she tried to think of other things, but she had flashback and all that interests her, excites her, so it's difficult. So so that's among the challenges that they have. And I'm not a sex therapist, so I'm not an expert in this. What we do is save children. So basically, but um I understand from their experience that it is hard and difficult, but it's not impossible.
It's not impossible as long
Mm.
as maybe they have a very strong support, right?
Of course,
That's what.
what is support can be very
Mhm.
vague, because nobody
Mhm.
wants to be told that you are a porn addict. So
Ah,
sometimes they keep it to themselves. So that kind of
yes.
support too, it's very, very vague lah, to put it.
So I mean, I want to ask, like, do you know the person that you are actually helping? I mean, macam as in person, or just got a call and macam you just tolong, you just help her or him.
I don't even ask their name, to be honest.
Oh,
I do, yeah, because I think it's unnecessary. I just want to help a person. So that person, sometimes I don't ask name and things like that. Probably age, but not name.
all right. So, do you ever experience something like uh people come to you asking for like help? Okay, maybe kids or teenagers asking for help about this pornography that you taught and you advise them, you want to help, but eventually they just like back off, like it's never mind. Have you ever experienced that?
No,
Like
no.
also.
Why I say no is part of healing, or part
Mhm.
of getting help, is to be involved in making that decision to help oneself. Meaning that you can give so many ideas, but the help can only happen when you choose which one, and stay adamant to that, and actually do something.
Mm, right.
Mm, yeah.
Cool. So what are the among the activities that you and your team that has done to prevent this from happening again? Maybe you have like.
Mm. Okay, so pornography is, as I said,
Mhm.
is not new. Okay, and on Puak Payung, or me myself, is pornography is not one of my strongest um suit. It's not, simply because there are other things, I suppose, or there are so many other group who actually does anti-pornography campaigns way better than me. And I know that I'm a great communicator, meaning that if people call to talk, they know they can get my time, they know that they can get my focus, and actually we can actually talk about anything under the sun. Okay. But pornography and addiction is something else. So an addiction needs to have proper steps. For instance, when I know that family have problem with their children with drugs, or children having problems with family who actually use drugs, so we create a different team to handle just that, because they need different kind of support. As for me, as I said, I'm no expert in anything anyway, but at least we can have network to actually solve any form of problems that they may have. And so if if you ask me, I wouldn't. And you know, sometimes imagine years ago when the word sodomy came out. People who doesn't know what is sodomy, now everybody use that word because it's in the paper. And the paper is not wrong, but it creates a curiosity of what is that. And to some
Yes.
people, they may not even know that such act existed among men or people. Kan? So they get curious. So I don't want to create unnecessary curiosity without proper information and guidance, because fallen at the wrong hands, the curiosity might create for them to try it out, you know, and that's not a good thing to have. So I'm trying to keep, because for Puak Payung and myself, we would like to prove that family unit is very, very much the best barrier from getting any harm done to children. So
Mm.
we want family to know to be responsible, and we want family to know if you cannot be great parents, there are ways for you to get help so that you can protect your family.
Right. But okay, we have
But
questions from
I will
the
answer this lah. Before the question,
uh
I will answer you
Okay.
this. There was a time, there was
Mm-hmm.
not too long, I think it was 7th February. I remember because I was doing a slide on this just now.
This year,
There, pardon?
this year,
This year?
7th February
Yeah.
is all right. It's
So
new.
a father with two children asked me that he loved to watch pornography. He
Mm.
loved it so much. And he wanted to know how to watch pornography safely in the house. So you see, a lot of people will just think that this is just nonsense or this is rude. But I took that question in from him because I believe that he was looking for answers. And
Mm-hmm.
even though the answer is promoting him to watch pornography safely at home, and as I said, that accidents do happen and it cannot be safe anyway. But we found 7 methods. We found 7 ways to watch pornography safely. But I also find 7 talking points of why choosing not to watch is better. Okay, 7 ways how to watch, and
That's better,
7 ways why not to watch. And it's not about how to stop or how to reduce. It's about 7 ways how to watch safely. And then I interlace the 7 ways with 7 reasons why it's better not to watch. Okay,
Oh,
I only talk. Do you
that's
understand?
even better, right? Macam like you are telling the person like the title like you change a bit, right?
So I didn't change. I told him the
Mm-hmm.
answer, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
he asked me, what are the 7 methods for me to watch pornography safely at home? So I said, number one, I just give an example, and this is a wrong example. Okay,
Okay.
number one is to watch in the toilet. Okay, so let's say I said number one, watch in the toilet. Okay, he says, okay. Okay, 1A, so I just say 1A. So 1A, I said that it is actually wrong in religion and in the constitution to watch pornography in this country. Okay, so I just told him that. And then number two is blah, 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 blah. 2A, watching pornography can create an addiction that you cannot control. And then he
Mm-hmm.
hears that. You found that. So
Oh,
basically, but of course, a lot of people were angry at me for entertaining such question. But there is no such thing as a stupid question. And I
yeah.
entertained that because he was looking for an answer. And I would like to be a responsible adult to find out and to tell him
To help
correctly,
him.
but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, try to stop it. Okay, let's go with the questions.
All right. So, like previous, you were saying like the father it asked you about how to watch pornography safely, but is there any cases where the parents themselves teach their children to watch pornography? This is a question from our viewers on
Mm,
Aisha.
I don't think any parents, good parents, deliberately wanting their children to watch pornography. Okay? I don't think any parents would deliberately just wanted to do that. By
Mm,
accidents, there's a lot. There's a lot of accidental incidences. However, if the person has bad intention towards someone, yes, they would entice that someone to watch pornography.
Oh, isn't that child grooming? Don't you think so?
Yeah,
So ajar
so
kepada budak-budak.
yeah, so that is child grooming. But in the context of pornography, I just answered that way.
Hmm. Right. So we have next question for our viewers, which the questions is how do you identify early onset of an addiction? Which is from our viewer. Is it Lilia? Ilya? I'm sorry.
Okay, so basically, as I said, intensity, frequency, and duration. So when you have these three, and I'm sure there's a table or a standard somewhere when you talk about addiction, because as I said, I don't do this,
Mm-hmm.
then you can categorize whether is it early onset, is it harmful, and all that. I have to answer that shortly because I don't know what is the table to say about pornography. Like, out of this criteria, will it define as early onset? But I want to say that as children as young as 4 years old, if they stumble upon pornography, they wouldn't forget and they will have flashback and it will actually be with them until they are adult. That one I know.
Maksudnya macam kalau dah biasa tengok dari kecil dia akan besar.
Tak semestinya biasa. Tak semestinya biasa. Walaupun satu kali.
Oh. Like,
Hmm.
okay, we have another question. Like, I think this is very interesting, which are scenes in movies considered as pornography? Meaning, like the kissing scene, perhaps.
Does that give you sexual gratification? If yes,
Oh, okay. You mean like the sexual arouse, like that?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
maybe.
okay. So we should ask ourselves like that. So if yes, meaning that it's already considered as pornography.
But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many kissing scenes, and everybody is different. I'm sure some watch kissing scene and they have no feelings about it. And why they don't have any feelings about it? Maybe they were educated enough to know that it's inappropriate at this age, but it will be appropriate if you're married.
Like
So
that.
that is sexuality education. So it's not about you being controlled, but about you being more informed.
More, more knowledgeable, like that. Is
But
it? Mm-hmm.
but hold on, pornography also it normally involves nakedness. That's where it becomes a bit difficult. But we have kissing scene even in cartoon. We wouldn't
Yes.
call that pornography, you see, because children also watch kissing scene, and if they explain kata but they're adult and blah blah blah, we explain kan dia jadi lain, dia tak jadi that
Yeah.
scary anymore to call that as pornography. But we do have censorship in our country, right? So we censor all
Yes.
this kissing scene and all that. So maybe to them that all these scenes is inappropriate because the musibah is bigger than the advantage. And most of the time these scenes have no context and you can miss it and it doesn't hurt the scene.
All right. So, I think I want to take another question from our viewer, right? Okay, Twen. So I think this is a good question as well because he or she wants to help the friend. So how to advise a friend who addicted to pornography from Anissa Zulaika?
If you want to start helping someone with pornography addiction, you have to know that it's a long process and you will always be there no matter what. You cannot say I'm busy, I'm shopping, I'm doing my assignment, blah blah blah. No, if they need your help, they need your help.
Oh,
And as I said that the urges happen if you have idle minds. So you have to actually help, like talking or listening or going out or doing activities, um, and even actually puasa, solat sunat, all that actually work as well. Tahu sebenarnya, mandi, those things actually work. You know, different people have different ways, and I never say which one is better than the rest. But if you were to become a support system for them, you always have to be there for them. And you cannot tease them saying that, so you tengok ni, you steam tak? Huh? You steam tak? You cannot do that lah. It's not funny pun to them.
betul
It's a big
betul.
deal.
Yeah, that's
Okay?
correct. So I mean like which means like we have to be there to support them. And for the person who is currently wanting to change, they have to macam busy themselves, do other than watching pornography. But I believe it's
Yeah,
really hard, right?
it
Because
is. I think it's very, very hard. It's like for me, I was thinking like I've done it before, but I am not allowed to open on Facebook. Maybe
mhm,
can you imagine that? Yeah. So
yeah.
maybe that's difficult. Kan?
Yeah, we have been doing that for so many times, and we have to stop deliberately to stop.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Arisha. Do you mind if I
Yeah,
eating because I'm
no,
very much
it's fine,
hungry?
it's fine. Yeah, it's okay, it's okay. Yeah, sure, you can eat because
I'm
this is Peeps
hungry.
chat. We are very laid back, like to relax when you're talking. Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Next question.
All right. So do we have a next question to from? All right. So we have one more question from viewers. Do you think sex education should touch upon pornography? This is from our viewers.
Mm, sex education is not about pornography. Okay, it's not
Mhm.
about pornography.
Oh,
But
it's different.
I mean, yeah, sex education is not porn. There's a
Okay.
lot of respect there. Pornography has no respect. Sex education, there's a lot of respect. So
Yes.
you can talk about the bad effects of it. You don't have to make it more interesting by talking porn, you know? So you don't have to. I don't see any need in acknowledging pornography helps or acknowledging the existence of pornography. You know it exists, but you don't have to romanticize it to make it normalized or to make it okay. I don't think so. Is it a respected? It's not even respectful, kan?
Betul betul.
Pornography kalau tengok pun it's degrading. No, I don't think so. That's how I
Lagi
feel.
satu, I think the reason we don't have to like touch pornography when we like doing the sex education, I think because we have to prevent from the people to have curiosity. Maksudnya jangan ada curiosity. Kalau ada
Yeah.
curiosity, diorang search semua, betul tak tuan?
Mm.
Is it
Yeah.
correct?
So because there's no guidance, kan?
Mm-hmm.
So they search on their own and then fall into the trap and they cannot help themselves after that.
Plus, internet is very broad. Macam yang senang je cari semua benda on the internet. Like it's very easy.
Yeah.
Just click it and type whatever you want to know about on the
Betul.
internet. So it's oh my god, the time is very jealous of us, Dwayne. So do you know like okay since it's about time already, it's really saddening me. Do you know like where all these people have pornography addiction? Where can they ask for help for them to stop from
Um
this addiction? Maybe from you.
no,
How?
no, 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 no. But please don't call me for this. But
Why is that?
but you can see a doctor actually for this. Just to actually know about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
have someone that you can trust to actually talk that you actually have a problem, because admitting the problem is the first step in anything. If you admit you have a problem, at least it's a start, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So but yes, you can start with doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists. A bit difficult to go, but you have all that. So that's the first thing. And don't worry, you deserve to be helped. So don't worry about them. You deserve to be helped. So you just tell them that you need help. Whether they can do it or not, then they will let you know. But you have the right to actually ask for help.
Right. So what if they are scared of like the stigma of the people where they can ask for like other help? Is there any the like
Actually, that's not true, because if you go to any medical profession, it's a very confidential system. So don't worry about it. And it's not
just
about
go?
them.
Mm-hmm.
It's about you yourself, can. So just go.
Betul, betul. So all right, so do you have any advices to give to the youth out there, to the students, teenagers, especially students, right, have been addictive to this unhealthy addiction activity, and maybe
Uh,
some motivation to stop them from doing their habit?
First of all, don't start. And
Just
if
mm-hmm.
you already start, but you think you're not addicted, the thing is, the negativity is more than the positive. Okay.
Negative. All
So
right.
So that is very much important that you should know, and then you cannot control it. That is also true. You cannot. It is like a drug, and it's very much scary, and it can be with you for life. So when you want to get married and all that, it creates a little bit of confusion, and you don't want that. I don't want that to anyone. So that's my advice.
Nice. All right. So,
Allah.
oh, all right. So it's already like almost the end. So before I end, I want to tell all viewers out there, do not forget to click the like button for tonight's episode and also to subscribe to our IUM TV channel. We also have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So you guys out there, do not forget to follow to know more updates on IUM TV. And we have podcasts also on Spotify at IUM TV. So Tuan Sayasmi, thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for being our guest and spending your time with us in Peeps Chat Show. I know you're such a busy man, but it's an honor for me to talk with you about this issue. Thank you very much, Tuan.
Thank you so much, IIUMTV.
Yes.
So I had a blast. It's a very challenging topic, to be honest. We probably
Yeah.
don't have enough experts yet,
Mm,
but who knows, you know? So being hopeful, and we all can face this right together. Thank
yeah,
you.
inshallah. I think it's very helpful. It's very helpful already, and I want to thank you to our viewers as well for watching us from the beginning till the end. So till we meet again in the next episode. Bye bye. Wassalamualaikum.